네, 여러분 안녕하세요. 아세안 연구원 이유진이라고 합니다. 오늘 필리핀 특강 2회차 오신 여러분들 환영합니다. 오늘 특강은 저희 경남 경북 지역에서 필리핀 커뮤니티 리더로 활동하고 계신 미스 테스 분을 저희가 오늘 강의를 부탁을 드렸고요. 오늘 여러분 다 방명록 작성은 완료가 되셨을까요? 네, 되신 걸로 알고 있겠습니다. 그리고 1회차 특강에도 오신 분들이 몇몇 분 계신 것 같은데요. 저희가 특강 끝나고 나서 기념품 증정이 있어요. 저번에 기념품을 이미 받으신 분들은 제외하고 새로 오신 분들만 받아가실 수 있으니까요. 네, 그거 참고 부탁드립니다. 그러면 오늘 좋은 말씀 해주실 미스테스 강사분을 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Ako si Tess Manangan na galing Pilipinas. Ikinagagala ko kayong makilala. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tess, and I'm from the Philippines. I'm very glad to meet you. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
제 이름은 테스 만앙안이고요. 필리핀에서 왔습니다. 반갑습니다. I can speak a little bit of Korean. Of course, I can speak Tagalog, but I would rather have the lecture in English. Is that going to be okay? So maybe I could use both English and Korean. 재미로. 제 진짜 이름은 산타 테레시타 벨라데 만앙안이고요. 너무 길어서, especially in Korea. So I usually use Tess. So you can call me Ate Tess or Tita Tess for you because you're very young. So I'm going to start. 조금 떨려요. 미안해요. 어떻게 하더라? I am from the Philippines. Could you guess how long I've been in Korea? 15 years? More? 20 more? Actually, I came to Korea in 1993. So I will have been here for 32 years in November. 좀 길죠? I also have acquired Korean nationality. Although I'm Korean, I really look like a Filipino, right? So when I'm outside, people just look at how I look and they would say, 외국인이네요? 그러면 제 마음 어떻게 해요? What do you think I feel when I hear those comments? 이해하긴 하는데 좀 슬퍼요. Because I have lived in Korea much longer than the Philippines. Actually, I was 24 years old when I came here. And I was very young. I didn't know many things when I came. And I've matured actually in Korea, actually in Busan. So before I talk about my life in Busan or in Korea, let's do some icebreaker. So let me see how much you know about the Philippines. 저 필리핀 학생들 빼고. Okay. Let's find out. Have you seen the Philippine flag? What colors are there? You can talk. It's okay. What colors are there in the Philippine flag? Blue, red, white, yellow. Ding dong ding. Right. This is the Philippine flag, and I just want to tell you one very important thing about the Philippine flag. So between the colors blue and red, which is 위에 어떤 색깔 있어요? Blue, 밑에는 red이죠. Philippine flag, the blue should always be on top. Blue means peace, truth, justice, and red means bravery, valor, patriotism. Okay. When the red stripe goes on top, what do you think there is? There's war. Okay. So now it's peacetime in the Philippines, and so red should not be on top. Okay. So be aware of that, because I live in Deundong. Do you know where Deundong is? It's in Namgu. And I live near the UN cemetery, and there's UN circle, and there are several flags around the UN circle, and one of them is the Philippine flag. One time I passed by UN circle and the Philippine flag was like this. So anyway, 저는 착한 사람이니까 SNS 안 올려주고 그냥 남구청 전화했어요. 그 다음 날 바로 맞게 했어요. Anyway, so that's it. Also, another one. How many islands are there in the Philippines?
17.
필리핀 사람 나중에. How many? 일본 about 70, Ibon about 700, Sambon about 7,000, and Sabon about 70,000. 3. Okay, that's right. So there are exactly how many islands? 7,000. They say 641 islands in the Philippines. There used to be 7,107, but now, because of technology, maybe they counted more. And how many languages are there? How many islands are there? 7,000, more than 7,000. And the answer is? Yes. Actually, officially, there are 183. And for every major island, there is an official land, not Saturi. Saturi도 아니고, Ono. Ono 자체가 183이라고 해요. And I know only one, which is Filipino. My mother spoke one language, and my father also spoke one language. They met in the middle where I was born. I only speak one. So anyway, let's try to learn Filipino. How do you say hi in Korean? 안녕, 잘 지냈니? How are you? In Filipino, it's kumusta? Would you say kumusta? 크게. Kumusta? And the answer is mabuti. Kumusta? Mabuti. Could you say hi? Could you say kumusta to your seatmate? Okay. 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 That's kumusta and mabuti. Then you say hi to teacher. Would you like to say hi to teacher? Ready, go. 뭐라고요? Teacher 화났어요. There's also 존댓말 in the Philippines. So, like, how are you? Kumusta and mabuti only for friends. For the elders, you say kumusta po. 못 들어갔어요? 못 들어가면 존댓말 돼요. 그러면 대답은 뭐예요? 마부티 po. 오케이. 그러면 선생님한테 인사하세요. 시작. 마부티. kumusta? 마부티 po. Okay. And last one is thank you is salamat. 그러면 고마워요, no? Salamat po. Okay, right. Just remember 3 words. But if you can't remember kumusta, mabuti, and salamat, you can say it in English. Because in the Philippines, there are 2 official languages, Filipino and English. So Instead of saying, kumusta, mabuti, and salamat, you can say, hi, hello, and thank you. 그 대신에 어른들한테 어떻게 해요? Hello po, thank you po. Do you know Sing Again 4 on TV? Have you seen that program Sing Again? 몰라요? 텔레비 안 보구나. 거기에서 there is one contestant. She's Filipino. Her name is Gwen. And after she sang, Im Jae-bom said, "Thank you po." Okay. Even Im Jae-bom knows po. Okay. So remember. Anyway, let's go on. Okay. So I'm from this very beautiful country called the Philippines. In the Philippines, our motto, our campaign is, "It's more fun in the Philippines." Sometimes when Koreans tell me that they don't want to go to the Philippines because it's dangerous, it's not safe, I feel very offended and kind of sad because in reality, the Philippines is a very nice and safe country. 그냥 나쁜 짓 하면 위험하지, 나쁜 짓 안 하면 돼요. 그죠? And I think the charm of the Philippines is, of course, the Philippines as a country, geographically, is very nice, it's very beautiful, but I think the charm of the Philippines is its people. Filipinos are actually the charm of the Philippines. They say tourists and other people, foreigners who go to the Philippines, they always say that the Filipinos are the friendliest and most generous people they have met, which I agree. Do you also agree? Have all of you been to the Philippines? Okay, anyway, do you agree that Filipino people are friendly and generous? Yes? Okay. And yes, the Filipino people are very friendly and generous, but in a way, living in the Philippines, for some, actually is very difficult. You know why? Because the gap between the poor and the rich is really very big. Sometimes they live in two different worlds. Like there are some very rich people who have several cars and who can afford to go abroad to take a trip or sightsee every month. But there are really some individuals, some families who are eating breakfast now and are worrying about what they're going to eat for lunch. So that's how different Filipinos are in the Philippines. So when you ask some students, some young people, what they want to be when they grow up, a lot of students would say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a teacher. But most of them would say, I want to go abroad and earn money for my family. That's why. So I actually am one of them. I grew up poor, and I also wanted to go abroad and earn money for my family. And so, because this is the reason why. Can you see? By occupation, I don't know if you know how much, what the rate is, but just consider that the 45,000 pesos that a licensed professional earns is about 1 million won. Okay, so in Korea, licensed professionals, I think, earn about 10 million, 7 million to 10 million. And if you go down, a factory worker in Manila earns about 14 pesos, which is about 340,000 won, some ship samanon. So if somebody is a Filipino who has big dreams to send his children to school or to have a house built for his family, even a licensed teacher or an engineer would rather go abroad, earn and work as factory workers rather than stay in the Philippines and earn that much. Actually, there are a lot of Filipinos in Korea. A factory worker can earn in 1 month what a factory worker in the Philippines would earn in 1 year. A factory worker in Korea can earn in 1 year what a factory worker in the Philippines can earn in 10 years. So very, very big difference. So we can understand why Filipinos leave the Philippines. Okay. Are you following me? Okay, thank you. So, there are lots of people who go abroad to work. We call them OFW, Overseas Foreign Workers. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so, okay, can you see the people at the bottom wearing blue jackets? They are people leaving for Korea. That jacket is very famous. That's the famous blue jacket to go to Korea. And I think we don't have any. These are the destination of the Filipinos, this Philippine diaspora. So Korea, can you see Korea is one famous destination for Filipinos. Actually, officially, there are about 70,000 Filipino workers in Korea, so maybe including the undocumented workers, that's 78,000. Most go to America and Canada. Okay, so can you just read? This is the history of Filipinos in South Korea. Okay, just to give you an idea. And here, these are the Filipinos in South Korea, and I am one of them. Do you know why I came to Korea? I came to Korea in 1993. Can you guess why I came here? So some people are. Some people come here as factory workers. Some work in farms. Some people are marriage migrants. Some are students. Some are professional engineers. And so why did I come to Korea in 1993? No. Actually, my husband's Korean. My husband's Korean. And actually, he was a graduate of Busan University of Foreign Studies. It was in Wondong. He was, I think he graduated in the fall of 1994. Actually, we have a very interesting love story. He and his friend just finished military service in May, and they had until August to spend. They had time, so they went to the Philippines to study English, and I was his English tutor. 저 가위 선생님이었어요. 공부도 안 하고 그냥. So we met in 1993, and the following year, well, actually, that was very difficult because we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we had to communicate, but there were no smartphones that time. There was no internet, so we had to write letters every day. When I came to Korea, the postman knew my name. sa Manangan. So anyway, I came to Korea in 1993, November. My first impression of Korea was that it was very cold. It was November. I had to live in the Philippines. We don't have 겨울 없어요, 필리핀에서. 그래서 와서 그냥 너무 바빴어요. I had to wear my undies, and then my ne복, and then my sweater, and then my jacket, and then the 목도리, and then 장갑. Oh, very, very, very busy. Anyway, we were at Wede almost every day because I had some English group studies at Wede in Guangdong. And my parents-in-law were very nice to me. But what I didn't understand was there was a very big gap between the treatment or the social status of men and women in Korea. Actually, maybe it's better now, but that time, because we lived with my parents-in-law, I cried almost every day because I couldn't understand why my husband couldn't help me wash the dishes. But anyway, as I lived with them, I thought it was a culture thing. So I learned how to give up some of my beliefs, and my husband and my parents-in-law also had to give up some of their beliefs. And so I think that's the key to living peacefully, is to live in harmony, to not hate each other, to bring your pride a little lower. I think that's the key. Anyway, but 우리 남편, that's our son. He was born in 1998. 우리 예쁘죠? Anyway, and 우리 남편하고 남편 가족 있긴 있는데, but 채워줄 수 없는 그런 외로움 있잖아요. I was homesick. So I missed my family back in the Philippines. I missed speaking in Tagalog. I missed I missed Filipino food. So it's a good thing. I think when I was in my third year of living in Korea, I started to work at this hagwon, and one of my students was the head of this migrant support organization, which is now called 이주민과 함께. So she approached me one day and asked me if I could help them with their English newsletter. So I said, okay. And so it became like the door for me to meet other migrants and other Filipinos. And so this is my family right now. And so there is my other family. Sapinako is samahan ng mga Pilipinong nagkakaisa sa Korea, United Filipinos in Korea. We started as a group of friends, but then we meet regularly. We might as well name our group. So it's a group. It's like a home away from home for Filipinos, because most of us came to Korea by ourselves. We didn't have any family. We didn't have anybody. We didn't have friends. So Sapinako as a group is like a family to every member. So we met regularly, and we would cook Filipino food. We would participate in events around Busan. We also have our Christmas party. Christmas is the biggest holiday in the Philippines. And in Korea, they make Filipinos work on Christmas. That makes us very sad and very angry actually. And also we celebrate our anniversary in time for Chuseok. You know Chuseok, right? On Chuseok, because most of our members are workers, factory workers, so they don't work on Chuseok Day, and almost every Korean would go to their families and celebrate, leaving these migrant workers, these Filipino workers alone in their dormitories with nothing to do. So what we do, we celebrate our anniversary on Chuseok so that they would have something to do. And also, we have, these are all, some of our activities, because living in Korea alone, people are vulnerable to yuhok, there are like gambling scams and investment scams. So we, as much as possible, make our members busy. So we formed this basketball group and this volleyball group for girls, and also we have like a dancing, like a performance guild. Anyway, so that's Sapinako. And I think that was back in 2011 when we started this project. It's called, it's a donation project for students in the Philippines. Because in Korea, migrant workers are usually looked down on. They are at the bottom of the social ladder. And so in a way, people look at them as people who are just helpless and who need help. But I think that was that was the year when Undoy, a very powerful typhoon that hit the Philippines. We tried to have a campaign to donate some things to the Filipinos in the Philippines, and our members felt so good because they did not take anything this time, they gave. So we continued it until now. So it's that project, it has become like a project for children, students in the Philippines. We'd gather bags and we'd gather money and then send them to the Philippines, and the people who were Sapinako members in Korea who have repatriated back in the Philippines, they distribute those bags and school supplies to the children in the Philippines. It is really a nice project. I'm very, very proud of it, like this. Okay. Anyway, but I think homesickness is one problem, right? So with Sapinako, we were able to solve one problem. But living in Korea as workers, as migrants, as foreigners, bring a lot of problems to these people. So could you read? Most factory workers work in 3D jobs. Actually, 3D means what? Dirty, dangerous, difficult. Nowadays, they say it's 4D, deadly. Because a lot of people have also died from accidents. And EPS system, which is the employment permit system, actually is not perfect. So working conditions and living conditions of these EPS workers have lots of problems. 결혼 이주 여성들도 부부 갈등 때문에 가정폭력도 어려움이 겪고 있어요. Also, when they're sick, especially when they're sick and they cannot talk in Korean, it is a really big problem for them. And Philippine 가족과 긴 Actually, sometimes I feel very sad because these Filipinos leave the Philippines for their families so that they could support their families. But ironically, their families are broken when they leave the Philippines. So it's really, really sad. So anyway, as a leader, as one of the leaders, Filipino leaders in Busan, we try to help our our fellow Filipino workers and migrants by joining campaigns to fight for their rights. Actually, I am very active in this migrant support organization called Ijumin Guahamke. It's an NGO, and they try to. They have a network of migrant support organizations, and we try as much as possible to join in their campaigns, like fighting for. There is a crackdown on migrant workers, and have you heard that there is a migrant Vietnamese who was cracked down on and died while running away? So we try to stop those violent crackdowns, and yes, just in our own way, try to support these workers in Korea, because dahingi, the policies for foreign workers, for migrant workers, I've been here for 32 years, there have been a lot of changes, and there are actually a lot of changes that have benefited these workers and the marriage migrants in Korea, but still there are loopholes, there are things that should still be done to make the system perfect. So we continue fighting, and we continue trying to improve those policies in the government. Anyway. And as I said, there is this, when you come to a country without anybody, without family, without friends, I think the worst situation that you'd be in is when you get sick and you have nobody next to you. So that's what Link Migrant Translation Cooperative, which is Link Ijumin Tungbonyeok Hyotongjohap. This is actually hitting two birds with one stone. I think the member, actually I'm the isajang of this organization. I'm the chief, but not because I can speak Korean very well, but because I've been an active migrant activist, active leader for Ijumin Gohamke for the longest time. So I understand what migrant workers or migrants need and what kind of translation or interpretation they need. And also, most of our translators are migrants themselves. So we have about 62 member translators, and we translate in 18 languages. And we mostly go bring sick people to hospitals. So at Busan Uryuwon, we have regular translators there. And when Filipinos are sick, they usually call me, Ate, I'm sick, let's go to Busan Uryuwon or Busan Dehakbyumwon or Samsung John Byumwon. So there are some Filipinos who can speak basic English. They will be able to tell the doctor that they cannot, it's difficult to breathe, or they have a cough, or they have a cold. But when their sickness gets serious, like cancer or when they are involved in an industrial accident. I think language is one problem, and also these people do not know what to do. They don't know how to deal with the situation. Actually, as I was telling Professor Kim, Professor Jovi, who was a professor here at PUFS, I was his translator at the university hospital when he got sick. And he, until now, he says that he owes his life to me. Anyway, put that tail. And also we have this Filipino Community Center, which is headed by Mr. Danny Guerra. I don't know if you know him. It's like an umbrella organization of different, like Sapinaco is one organization, and this I think we did it about 10 years ago. So it's like an association of Filipino groups or organizations in Busan, Gyeongnam, Ulsan area. So we have about, actually last June, we celebrated the Independence Day, and there were about 21 groups that joined in the parade. And this, through FCC, we also communicate with the embassy, the Philippine embassy, like if they want to have consular services, if they want to hold consular services in Busan, they contact us, and through FCC, we do those services. Anyway, and almost finished. Okay, so I think this is our goal as a leader, as we try to help one another. So we are here for each other. But then, us Filipinos trying to help one another is a good thing. But the ultimate hope that we have is inclusivity. Do you know that actually there are a lot of migrants in Busan, there are a lot of migrants in Korea, but as I observe, they live in their own world. Like, they are not actually they're not yet included in the South Korean society. So I think that's what my hope is, for migrants to be one with locals, with Busanites, with South Koreans. So that is my hope. And I think it's going, in maybe a few years, in maybe 10 years, Busan, or even, South Korea or even Busan will be a very diverse society of migrants and locals alike. That's it. And for Filipinos who are not going to stay in Korea, I hope that they go home successful without encountering any accidents and happily with their families intact. I think that's it. That's all. That's my family in the Philippines. I hope I helped you with with what you want to gain in this lecture, and I think I have 10 minutes to answer some questions. You can ask anything. Yes. Okay.
Go ahead.
As you mentioned, your husband is Korean. I'm just curious because your son is mixed race, which I'm also a mixed race. My mom's Filipino and my dad's Korean. I'm just curious, how did you raise your son with, you have two different cultures, so how did that affect with raising your child?
That's a very good question. Actually, my son identifies as a Korean because he was born here, and he actually is not, he doesn't have any many Filipino friends in Korea, and he actually, as much as I want, I can't bring him to the Philippines to be with my Filipino family. So, in a way, damunwa. Actually, it's not really damunwa. So most of our children who are born here know only one culture. But because I have a community, so my son eats Filipino food, to say the least. What about you?
I was born and raised in the Philippines, and then I moved abroad and then came here. So I'm pretty much half-half.
I see. That's one of my biggest regret, not teaching my son Tagalog. So he knows ulaga. Anyway, yes, Professor.
Is that picture Korea or in Philippines?
Which one? On the left?
Left side.
Actually, that's in the Philippines. Those are former Filipino workers who lived in Korea and are now back in the Philippines. We still communicate with them because we have this project, and we also have a reunion whenever we have the project in May.
How about you have any kind of organization who take care of the children, like the multicultural family like you?
That was actually what I tried at first, maybe about 20 or 15 or 20 years ago. Before organizing Sapinako, I tried to organize marriage migrant women, Filipino women, but it's really hard because they're busy with their families. I'd say, let's meet at this time here. And they'd say, oh, I have to take care of my parents-in-law. I have to attend to my son or daughter. I have to work. And most of all, being a member of an organization, honestly, needs money. And actually, marriage migrant women do not they don't have the luxury of having extra money for that. So, in a way, sadly, I kind of gave up on them. And I tried to organize migrant workers, which was much easier. Because these migrant workers, they don't have family here. They are alone. And they don't have anything to do when on their days off, like every Sunday. So we'd meet every Sunday, and they make money. So they kind of like are able to contribute to the organization. So anyway, maybe we can start again. I hope.
How many percentage is married migrant in this area, Busan and Manangan?
Actually, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure. Maybe there are about 2,000 to 3,000 Filipinos, so maybe 40% or maybe half are marriage migrants. I'm not actually, to tell you the truth, because I've been here for 32 years, so most of the people I know are also old-timers. So most of my friends have also been here for a long time. I am not very familiar with those people, those newcomers, and because of my age, I cannot really relate to them. They have their own 좀 세대 차이가 좀 있어요. But sometimes when link it's composed mostly of marriage migrant women. When we have forums or symposiums, I I tried to invite Filipino marriage migrants, but they're all busy. I think time. Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you for that insightful presentation. So,
Oh, thank you.
I came from the Philippines as well,
Uh-huh.
and the reason I'm here is I conduct research on Filipino.
Actually, Eugene mentioned it earlier. Yes.
So your topic is very insightful, like very
Oh,
informative.
thank you.
I just wanna ask, like, you mentioned about that Korean government is becoming inclusive towards migrants, and you also mentioned that despite the great changes in the protecting the rights of our migrants or of the migrants, there are still loopholes. If you could suggest, like, what would it be, like, better multicultural policy, or what would it be? Can you share with us?
This is what I observed about Korean government making policies. They make policies themselves and then implement them. So what I would suggest is maybe gather these migrants first, ask them what they need and what policies they want changed, and then change the policies or make policies and then implement. So I think, I mean, that's why sometimes we criticize some government funded organizations like Gajuk Center or Ijumin Damunha Gajuk Center. They have a lot of, we can see that they have lots of migrant staff members, but they stay where they are. They remain staff members. They do not become directors or they do not become leaders of that organization. There are a lot of very intelligent, very smart, very effective migrant workers or migrant staff members. I think they should be given a chance. Like, I think our hope is on you, second generation migrants, I think. Please. Yes.
Can I ask two questions about that? So first, English. Where are you from originally in the Philippines?
I'm from Batangas.
Batangas. Okay. And
Alae.
and second, I want to ask if you face any form of discrimination moving and raising a family here, and if so, like how did you overcome those things?
I don't know, but this actually, in a way, I am very lucky because as a migrant, I didn't actually face discrimination myself. My life has been very smooth living in Korea. Actually, I have this senior class, like 노인 복지관에서 수업하고 있는데, I think the nicest, most accommodating, most open-minded people are those 어르신들, Korean 어르신들. But I faced just one kind of discrimination because I teach English. And 학원 owners, they like those blonde-haired, green-eyed Westerners. And that's how 학원 owners select their teachers. So I don't actually apply through SNS because that's what they want. I just teach by recommendation. See how I teach first before prejudice. Okay. I think Korea and Korean 학원, Korean parents should be more open to Filipino teachers like us too. 질문 마지막.
Uh, mm, mm,
Maybe you
I saw in your picture. I saw in your picture that there is some, I think, discontent about the EPS system.
Uh,
So I think
those workers actually receive get discrimination most of the times, especially undocumented workers. If you know what I'm trying to say, they get discriminated and get a lot of human rights violation in the Korean working environment.
So what is your, suggestion to improve the EPS system in Korea? Because the system is already improved one.
Yes,
from the previous
we actually are aiming for. It was like a training system, then it became an employment permit system. Now we are aiming for work permit system.
Work permit.
Yeah, treating migrant workers as Korean workers. Like right now, migrant workers in the EPS system, migrant workers cannot change their workplaces on their own. They still have to have their employer's permission so they could go find other employment. So I think that's very unfair. So yeah, that's right. And even the housing system. There are still a lot of things for improvement, a lot of spaces for improvement. I think we should work on that too.
Last.
as a leader of Sapinaco, did I pronounce correctly?
Yes, Sapinaco.
Like, how do you envision the future of Filipino migrants in Korea?
How do I envision?
Yeah. Like, because you mentioned that Sapinaco is not becoming known.
You know what, Sapinaco is, will be celebrated its 21st anniversary in October. And we always say that by the year, our members are getting fewer and fewer because since our members are old-timers in Korea, some of them are undocumented, they go back home, they're finished, have their contracts have finished, and they get like crackdown on anyway, my dream is for a system, a visa system, which is easier. Like, Koreans, it's always the cheolyu jagyok. Even though we're good at what we do, and even though we want to continue working in Korea, even if our employers want to employ us continuously, because of the visa, because the visa has a limit, we cannot stay in Korea for as long as we want. So I want that visa system to at least allow foreigners or allow migrants to stay in Korea for as long as they are willing to work, or their employers are willing to employ them. Like Saudi Arabia. And also, I want actually more professional migrants in Korea. Like, unlike America or Canada, there are lots of professional Filipinos who go there because they can practice their professions. But in Korea, even if you're a graduate, an engineering graduate, I have lots of friends who have engineering licenses who are working at factories in Busan. And they, 욕도 많이 먹고, 빨리빨리 해라고 하고, 좀 그래요. So, more open Korea. I think, do we still have time? Thank you so much, everybody, for accommodating me.
마무리하는 것으로 하겠고요. 나가시기 전에 저희가 준비한 기념품 전달이 있겠습니다. 혹시 이전에 기념품 받아가신 분을 제외하고 네, 오늘 처음 특강 오신 분들은 네, 저희 방명록에 사인 한 번만 더 부탁을 드릴게요. 체크는 저희가 가방 안에 품목이 2개가 더 들어있어서요. 서명하시기 전에 품목에 체크는 3번 다 해주신 다음 서명해주시면 되겠습니다. 네, 수고하셨습니다.
잘 알겠습니다.